Dear students, today we are going to study fish migration. Migration is actually the movement of any animal from feeding ground to breeding ground and back to the feeding ground after reproduction. Today we will see various types of migrations exhibited by fishes. First of them is diadromous type of migration. Here the fishes, they spend major part of their life cycle in the sea or freshwater, and they migrate for breeding to either freshwater or seawater. Again, the diadromous type of fish migration is divided into anadromous type of migration. In anadromous type of migration, the fishes, they majorly live in salt water, but they move to the fresh water for spawning. Such a migration is exemplified by Atlantic salmon, Salmosalar, Pacific salmon, Onychorhynchus, and Elisa. Pacific salmon, it lives in salt water. When it gets matured, it migrates to a very long distance to freshwater, where the female lays eggs, and after laying the eggs, the female, they return to their feeding grounds. Males discharge their sperms, and after discharging the sperms or the eggs, they just start downstream movement towards the sea again. This is a two-way movement and it takes about 1 year. The total period spent in the migration is about 7 years. And after 7 years, the adult, when the small fingerlings, they grow to adults, after 7 years, they move upstream to fresh water. Now, how do they come to know that they have to return to the fresh water, and what triggers this phenomena? And it happens because of their strong olfactory sense, and because of that sense, they could able to migrate to the fresh water by sniffing various kinds of odors which are caused by the currents of water moving around. The example of anadromous migration is Hilsa. Now, another type of migration is catadromous migration. Here the fish moves from fresh water to salt water for spawning. The example is freshwater eel, Anguilla rostrata of Europe and Anguilla vulgaris of United States. In autumn season, they changes their color from yellowish to metallic silver. They stops feeding. Their digestive system tract gets degenerated. Their snout gets sharpened, lips get thinner, eyes become larger, and gonads become very well developed. After metamorphosing in this manner, they enter the sea and migrate to about 4,500 kilometers westward from Europe to Bermuda, which is in Sargasso Sea, and from eastward from US to Bermuda. After spawning, tragically the adult dies immediately, and from the hatchlings are transparent leaf-like pelagic larvae called as leptocephalia. They are needle-like, 6 mm needle-like teeth, and they are called as elverden. Glass eel, 8 cm cylindrical form, and after assuming this form, they enter freshwater stream and become yellow eel, and their homing instinct is still unknown to us. Then we have third kind of diadromous migration, which is amphidromous, and it is exhibited by Asiatic milkfish Channa gobius. And this is this is exhibited from freshwater to saltwater and from saltwater back to freshwater. Gobius is distributed widely in seawater and freshwater. They present this kind of migration, that is from freshwater to saltwater and from saltwater to freshwater. This is not done for breeding but for other purposes. Then another kind of migration is Potamodromous. The migration is confined to freshwater. The fish doesn't enter from freshwater to saltwater, that is from rivers to oceans, and remain in the freshwater itself. This is exhibited by carps and trouts travel large distances in search of site for spawning, but that is confined to the freshwater only. Then we have another kind of migration exhibited by the fishes, and this is Oceanodromous. This migration is confined to salt water. The fishes, they travel large distances in the sea itself from deep to shallow waters as spawning areas at the time of reproduction, or from shallow to deep waters and return back to their feeding grounds. This oceanodromous type of migration is exhibited by swordfish Ziphias gladys, barracudas, Sphyrna, perform latitudinal migration north in spring and south in autumns owing to climatic conditions. There are some other kinds of classification which was put forth, not so very important. Elemental migration is the migration which is done for the search of food. Spawning type of migration is migration done for reproduction. Climatic type of migration is the migration done to suit the climatic condition. Osmoregulatory migration is done for better suited osmotic conditions. Then there is another kind of classification in the if the migration is done in direction of water current, then it is denatant, and if it is opposite to the direction of water current, then it is contranatant. Migratory movements can be done passively or actively. If it is done passively, then it is called as drifting, and if it is done actively, it is called as swimming. Then question might have arisen in your mind that what are the advantages of migration? Food, shelter, reproduction, better utilization of untouched new habitats are the prime reasons which are cited for the advantages of the migrations. Now, what are the factors which regulates the migration of fishes? Among the physical factors, the regulatory factors are depth of water, pressure, temperature, the intensity of the light, the photoperiod, the current of water, and the turbidity. They determine the movements. Among the chemical factors, we have salinity, pH, smell and taste of water. Like euryhaline fishes, which can tolerate wide range of salt conditions, are salmon, anguilla, hilsa, gastrosteus. These are euryhaline. Whereas freshwater fishes, they are stenohaline. They cannot tolerate wide range of salt water conditions. Among the biological factors which influences migration are food, mammary, gonodial activity, the activity of the endocrine glands, and the biological clocks. So students, this is all in the this lecture of fish migration. Revise it. Thank you so much.